One of the most exciting use cases for generative AI is for code generation, where the AI is used to interpret language instructions, understand the context, and convert it into code for a variety of different tasks. This capability allows the AI to generate samples of code that can be reviewed and incorporated into commonly executed coding tasks. This capability, if used correctly, allows developers to increase productivity, reduce errors, and standardize quality over a vast number of coders. It's a use case that cuts across all industries and a variety of commonly executed tasks, such as file transfers, analyses of variables, business visualization lookups, and others. We at EXL have created a coding assistance solution, which uses pre-trained large language models to generate code sets for commonly executed coding tasks. This capability can be accessed in EXL's Generative AI platform, where it works as a coding assistance tool. We use the platform to generate sample code, which a coder can review and incorporate into their coding output, and subsequently submit the code through an expert review process that validates its efficiency and efficacy. This allows us to capture the productivity benefit which comes from using pre-populated code, the improvement in quality through standards, while ensuring that no code sets are exposed outside the company, and there's always an expert human in the loop to review the code before it goes into production. We want to show you a short demo of this capability. The example that we've chosen is a logical decision tree. The decision tree is a construct that's used across businesses. In this particular case, we have selected an example of a commonly executed task for a decision tree within banking industry. We want to start the code with a basic command that will approve applicants with a risk score over a prescribed limit. We state that command in plain language. The AI understands the instruction and generates code corresponding to it. Here's the Java code that gets generated by the AI. This code sample that got generated can be reviewed, copied, and inserted into whatever code set that the developer is working on. We can now make this a bit more complex. Let's add an incremental criteria, and in this case, we are going to look at the number of credit inquiries that a person has had to determine the risk profile. Similar to the first step, the AI generates the appropriate code. However, there's something very interesting that just happened. The AI remembered the context of the previous question and understood that this new instruction or condition was an addendum to the previous question, and combined them together using the AND operator. The AI also understood the context that having high inquiries should actually reduce your approval odds. The code correctly uses inquiries being less than the prescribed number as being more desirable. This then gets coded as a positive value. This intelligence is derived from the code set that we trained this model on, and can be replicated for any number of industries. We can train the AI on code sets across industries and across functions. The accuracy of the generated code improves with reinforcement learning and with the quality of the training data sets. We can keep adding new criteria. To this, let's add a third criteria. You can see that the code keeps adding to the decision tree because it remembers that this is a combination. We can even specify that it's not a combination. We could insert new operators. The logical operator could be changed. The code keeps evolving, leveraging simple English commands. We believe that this particular capability does few things very well. It dramatically increases the productivity of new developers. It allows us, through the AI, to bring in a very high coding standard, because the AI learns from code sets that are approved for high quality. On the flip side, we ensure that through the process, none of this code actually makes it to production until an expert has validated it. We ensure that nothing that's AI generated gets passed through the code without having a human in the loop and without being tested. I want to show you another example. In our first example, we saw the ability of converting normal English language into code sets. I want to show you something where it actually goes a step further where the AI takes an image, understands the context of the image, and generates a code set for it. Here we have a decision tree, where we are making a decision on whether or not to extend credit to an applicant. However, what's interesting about this one is that we are going to feed the decision tree into the AI. The AI is going to read all of the conditions, the nodes, the decision points, translate that into the right instructions, and then generate coding language, which corresponds to that particular decision tree. Now here, the platform is prompting us to see whether the variable name should be read as is from the decision tree, which could be common language or taken from the dataset that exists with the client. We can easily map this to a data dictionary so that it also ensures that all variable sets and variable definition that sit within the data dictionary can be standardized and brought in. As we progress, all of that code that was sitting in the decision tree has now been generated into a coding block, and that coding block can be inserted into a code set. This coding block, once it's tested, once it's been reviewed by a human, can actually go into production. We can use our platform to democratize the entire process of writing codes. You are no longer constrained by the coder's capability or by whether or not you know a certain programming language. We have taken logical commands and converted them into code by using the power of generative AI. Everything that you've seen here conforms to our operating principle that no data is exposed externally. The LLM that we've used here is the one that sits within our environment, is not exposed to the external environment at all, and all of the data sets that it can get trained on are also datasets that we can constrain within our environment, and ones that conform to our coding standards. We've been running the Coding Assistant tool within our platform for the last couple of weeks. A group of programmers within our environment are testing it, and there are some benefits that have jumped out for us. The obvious benefit is of enhanced productivity, where the ability to generate code automatically increases the productivity of each programmer quite significantly. But there are other benefits that are equally strong. One of them is the fact that we've started seeing an improvement in the adherence to the coding standard, because now, instead of every programmer coding the way they were taught, are leveraging the coding standard from the approved code sets that are being used to fine-tune the models. This has led to fewer errors, because some errors that were introduced from human mistakes are being eliminated. It's gotten us to a point where someone who's relatively inexperienced is now directly benefiting from the coding expertise and code sets that were created by someone with a lot more experience and with a lot more expertise. This has led to higher productivity, lower errors, and improvement in the overall coding quality, and greater adherence to standards. All in all, the experiment's going pretty well, and we are very excited about where this is headed. All of this is relying on our reinforcement loop and our control, which ensures that nothing that is produced by the AI goes through into the final output without testing and without expert human review. These controls are making sure that we balance this out and get all of the productivity benefits without introducing any scope of AI-related errors. This capability is one that we feel very excited about in terms of taking to our customers. We believe that it's got broad applicability across industries, and if it is used in the correct manner, it can lead to significant improvement in both the effectiveness and the efficiency of how our clients manage their overall IT teams and overall coding capabilities.